Yet another short where I comment on the latest gaming Twitter debate. This week we have the elitists back in full force with their claims that all video game stories suck. Also seen are phrases such as books are a better medium or people who like game writing are children. Anyway, let's start with the first one here, which I'm just going to go ahead and say it's a dumb statement because it's a generalization. No one has played all video games in existence, and even if you say that you'd play all the good ones, well, who decided which games are the good ones? Now, if you say instead that most video game stories suck, that's a statement I can understand, even with how much I love games. Because a lot of them use the story as a reason for the gameplay to exist. They focus on the gameplay aspect and they just throw a mediocre story in because it would be weird to have a game without a story. Nothing would be driving you forward. But here's the thing, that same statement is applicable to any form of art. I can say that most movie, comic, and book stories suck, and it would be equally as true. Next, I really don't understand their arguments as to why video game stories suck. They say that because the writers have to adapt the story to work with the structure of a game, the writing suffers from it. That's a perfectly valid argument, but you cannot tell me that's a big enough difference to take a story from great to awful. You're telling me that if I take your favorite book and throw 2-hour gameplay segments in between each chapter, it would suddenly suck? And what about the games that have a similar structure to literature, like visual novels? Anyway, my final point here is that comparing two different mediums is just stupid. Stripping a video game of its gameplay, music, visuals, etc. just to leave the story alone so it can be compared to a book is idiotic. And sometimes it doesn't even work. I mean, you can't really take the story of something like Nier Automata away from the game. Finally, you might have noticed that I've just defended games without talking much about books. And that's because, to no one's surprise, I haven't read a book in over 10 years. I mean, why would I read a book when what I love are video games? And there's so many more of them I want to play. But to be honest, it's kinda sad to say that I haven't touched literature in so long, and it makes me look stupid. So I'm going to do something to fix this. Leave the name of your favorite book in the comments, and I'll read whatever the most liked comment is. Probably soon. Eventually. No promises.